Hi, it's a part 12 of my presentation. I'd like to add to the what's it called, puncher, the engine that makes the ship go. I would use neodymium magnets. They are brittle; they will break, so you have to use like a little bit of protection on the side. But they're capable of lifting 1,300 times their weight. So on 1 kilo you get 1.3 tons that will react to the attraction between the frame of the ship and the... Also, this engine can be used within the ship if there is weightlessness within the ship. You can use it from the inside. You don't have to. You have the engine outside. That's a big advantage. Repairs and everything. So also the grease you use for the engines can be used for the temperatures that are already within the ship. So I wanted to move on to what I called what would produce the mechanical force, and I came up with something that would create energy and force necessary, and it would be also fuel and energy making and everything. Everything about this thing is electrical, and I wanted to make it electrical because my country is famous for producing electricity. We export so much of it, and today is June 9th, 2008, by the way. Here it is. Okay, let me see if you can read it here on my... It's a number of... I have quite a few of them. It's called Damir's heartbeat, and here is how it's basically working. It's just like a round ball with the outlets outside the ship, or could be inside, whatever. But outside is better because rotating. Well, and here you have like a look from the top. Let me see here. Look from the side and so forth. But the idea is like you have this. And you can see it. This cupola, basically turning around, and this will be it. For example, this is ship. This is the ball. And alright, it would work like a helicopter, basically. Alright, you have the, let me see here. You have the ball that would be spinning. This line here presents the, like body of the ship, and this thing here, it would like simply rotate. So, in space, once you start a movement, it doesn't stop until something stops it. So if you put the rocket here, where is it? Okay, where this arrow is. Okay, put a rocket, and you just hit it. It could be like a little plastic explosion or whatever. Just to start it. Okay, it would go on and on and on. It would not stop, and in turn it would turn around this ball within the ship, and as such you hook up belts to it, and hook up little the little things to it at the bottom and on the sides, and this way you produce electricity. Okay, you produce electricity which feeds the ship, computer, whatever, navigation, radar, whatever they use, and that's how you do it. All right. So with the belts and with that thing, and you have a bunch of little balls that are leaned against the big ball. And if you have a belt on those little balls would like a... Oh fuck, I don't know how to fucking explain it. Like this. That would be like flasky, you see? See this? Where is it? Oh, it's here. Alright, this. Okay, this. Alright. This indentation here is where the belt would go. And if this thing is simply round, but this is just side view. Alright. If it's leaned against this ball, it will produce a spinning effect. And through the belts, if we have if you have something like here would be the belt, and on this axis here, this thing that goes, it would keep it steady while it's leaning on the big ball. Alright, so big ball produces electricity. This little one thing, the flask, let's call it the flask, will produce electricity through the belt, generated like an alternator for the car. Okay, that's how I get the idea. I went to high school auto mechanic, so this is how I put two and two together. So you put this, and you have this spinning already by that helicopter-like thing, and produce a movement, and that's how it goes. The viscosity of the grease that is used from the outside on the helicopter blade, whatever. Now that's tricky. NASA would probably have the proper kind of grease for that, and the grease itself is the key to putting this together. Otherwise you don't have a movement outside it. You start the ball and start at little flasks, and that's how it grows. But that basically is it. And I dedicate this one. It's called Diamond's Heartbeat. I call it also Bosnian Enterprise. Enterprise isn't like a Star Trek movies. I dedicate it to Nikola Tesla. He was a Croatian scientist. I mean, when it comes to intelligence, I'm not good enough to look at his crap, but I just wanted to dedicate this to him because there is a lot of negative history stealing, lots of condescending attitude from Croatia and their historians and whatever. I just wanted to, send a message. No matter what you do, you won't turn into a racist like you. I respect what's good from there, but I will not become like you, whatever you do. So this is like also political kind of intent to it. Yeah, go. He's really happy with that horn of his, but it's also political in my intent to dedicate it to Nikola Tesla. But it's a war. It's a war for dignity of intellect, for the right to sanity of our Bosnian Catholics. And I hope this gives them a part of pride that is being constantly taken by Croatians. Alright, they're intellectuals, they're whatever. And so that they can, they can say, we've got a horse for that race as well. Alright, so we have the guy, who dedicated this. So, we're not that dumb. We don't have to look up to you, kind of thing. Bring them back home. So that's what I'm trying to do. And this will simply, but this also goes to show that just like that electric car that was invented, you can see in the movie Fahrenheit 9/11, and then it was simply shredded to pieces and production stopped, so oil can be kept on being sold. These are technologies that simply prove that intellectual value of humanity is beyond, way beyond, of what governments are ready to adopt. And they don't want to grow along with humanity. They're pulling us all back. But this is just a proof that anybody can, contribute to the world's affairs. Anybody can do something good. And there needs to be an outlet to media or whatever, scientific community, in order to do that, to simply prove, okay, we can do it. Also, I hope it addresses sufficiently this insinuation by Romani community down there in my part of the world, how uncivilized we are. Hopes this shuts them up. But all this is copyrighted to UN, and since they did not want to take it, I also copyright again. So it's 2C, C 2008, June 9th. Everything I said in here, everything is copyrighted. You cannot steal it. It's against the law. So stop being creative.